You are tuned in to Kids
In the Pit!
Hey guys, it's Gabriel and Kids Pit Podcast. Today I'm being joined by Benny Horowitz from the Gaslight Anthem and Town Liar. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's nice to finally get this done after meeting in person.
Yep. I met you and your kids at the Trenton Punk Rock Flea Market last year, and then I saw you play with Town Liar a month. I think it was like February.
Yeah,
Yeah. How's it going?
it's going great. It's nice to be home. I'm glad to be home while the season's changing. It's getting warm. I like planting stuff in my yard and watching things grow. So I enjoy being home for the bloom and some blue skies. Enjoy being home with the kids and yeah, getting some time in before kind of a busy summer.
Nice. Yeah. Me and my parents have been trying to plant a garden. We had like some plants before. We have a garden. Um, it kind of got like overgrown though, and because we just weren't taking care of it. But my parents like took all the weeds and stuff out, and we got this like a kit thing.
It's a barrier that you put down.
Yeah.
What?
The barrier we put.
No,
Oh, for the
the
boxes.
greenhouse?
no, the kit with all the seeds.
Oh yeah.
We have this kit, and it says like for each month there's like four seeds that are good to grow that month. So there's like four for January, four for February, March, blah blah blah. Yeah, and we just plant those, and
That's awesome.
I think which ones are the broccoli one sprouted,
Yeah.
and what else? did-
Asparagus.
Broccoli and asparagus both sprouted.
The little babies.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. That's the best thing. I've been doing good with potatoes and lettuce, even though I got to keep the deer away from it here. If you need a little tip, Gabe, for planting, I got turned on to lobster compost. So if you mix up in your topsoil, they sell a bag. I guess it's like the old extras of lobster stuff from semen. They're not going to use it anyway, and they mix it in with the soil, and it actually really helps things like grow in your compost. So I'm gonna go. There's a nice organic lobster compost that'll help your fruits and veggies sprout. I know it sounds weird. I don't
No,
even
I'm-
eat fish. You
I'm
know?
pretty sure you said semen wrong.
Semen? Semen? Wait, what did I
No,
say?
it's still you said it says that it's pronounced the same.
It's pronounced the same.
Yeah, semen and semen.
I thought
Look
it's
at
pronounced semen.
this turned into a linguistics. Listen,
People
the
say it both
English
ways.
language. The English language is a messed up place, Gabe. Lots of pitfalls.
And when you're 13, you hear semen.
We also just ran into one. I was reading a book to my kids the other day about a classical band, and they were like, "Wait, what? A pianist?" They had never heard the word a pianist before, so they thought the guy playing the piano was a penis. You know, it's the English language. It's gonna keep happening as long as you just get there, and there put together. Then you're fine. It's
You got
all
those?
it's all uphill
What?
from there.
You got there, and there. You got that pretty well down.
Oh yeah, so like over there is THERE.
Yeah.
Then it's theirs is well like it's theirs would be
Yeah.
THEIRS
Yeah.
or not the S sometimes. Um
They are there.
yeah, so
Oh, can't answer for him, Mom. Come on.
and then they're this is what they're doing. THEY''RE.
You nailed it. You nailed it. You could go to college. I think you're doing better than most like college freshmen right now. So good for you, Gabe.
Aren't there like some kids in high school that like can't read?
Mhm.
I heard it's getting worse. My brother, my older brother is a high school English teacher. And I mean, he still runs into a lot of smart kids, but I think the issue they're having these days is with AI, trying to figure
Yeah,
out what a kid wrote and what the computer wrote for them.
I really don't like AI because, well, the thing is, a lot of kids can cheat with stuff, but also, um, it can like take away people's jobs with the AI art. It
Mm,
just,
it's true.
I don't like it.
I was just thinking the other day about, if AI is like a large, data information system that's just collecting everything and you're making AI music, that means that all six Gaslight Anthem albums are more than likely inside of this AI model. And when they're producing like, a beat or something like that, why are we not paid for it? Like, shouldn't
Yeah,
every musician who's being used inside of an AI model be compensated for their work? I think that's a new thing that's going to have to start getting worked out with all this. But I mean, you may find out the longer and longer you do this podcast, musicians will probably get screwed. They'll
yeah,
be the last people to be able to pay enough to defend themselves or go through the process in order to. So more than likely we'll be last in line, but you know, that's what making art's all about.
yep. It seems like the data. I've heard that like the data centers are also really bad for the environment too.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah. Also, like think about so what AI came out like. I mean, to the public, it came out like what a few years ago.
Yeah,
Um,
basically.
think of how advanced it's gotten in like what like 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
and think so. Let's take what in 30 years. How advanced is it gonna be? Like it's gonna
Yeah,
take over the world.
you're gonna be John Connor from Terminator. You're gonna be on the front lines fighting the machines, maybe.
Yeah.
Wait, let me ask you, how old are you again, Gabe?
13.
So what, like when you're around a group of friends these days, or say you're even at band practice, how often are people on their phones? Or do you guys even all have phones?
We do. I mean, we're kind of just like I don't know. We're on our phones pretty often. I mean, I know some of my friends like I've seen their screen time. It's
Yeah.
literally like 17 hours a day,
Oh
which
goodness.
is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Wait, let me see.
then you're like a cyborg at that point, right?
Yeah, let me see what mine is.
When you're hanging out, you guys aren't really
Yeah,
using
when
it.
we're hanging out, we don't really use our phones too much unless
Yeah,
we're
but you're
like playing a
hanging.
game together. Screen
On
time.
tour, you do in the car a lot. But what?
Yeah, well, there's nothing really else to do in the car. Screen time. How do I do this? Oh, wait, there it is. Okay, my daily average is it's yeah, six
Six
hours and
hours,
8 minutes.
okay. What are you
Yeah.
doing mostly on there?
I don't know.
Games?
I kind of just like I'm on Instagram a lot. I kind of just scroll on Instagram Reels.
Doom scrolling?
Yeah, I need to stop it,
What does
but
it show you? What does the algorithm like to show you?
really stupid brain rot. So like the dumbest memes that I think are funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think like you talk to a lot of adults and then you still are a kid living in kid world? Do you think that us adults who didn't have phones are like creatures of the past? Do we like act differently because we didn't have them? Are
I
we
mean,
like are we dinosaurs in a way?
not necessarily. I mean, I think we might like kids might be better off without phones,
You think so?
like or at least like kind of limited because we a lot of kids, including me, spend a lot of time on their phone and on their computers and stuff. But like, I mean, it's a nice like thing to have. It just I'm not sure it's the greatest for us, but
Hmm. So even you question it at your young age, because I have a kid coming up to your age, and it's even like these booths at the elementary schools, like when should you buy your kid a cell phone, and what is good for them, how much screen time, what should it be used for, and social media. It's just like a big question, and I do wonder if in like 20 or 30 years they're going to tell us open access to these things was like smoking cigarettes in like the 70s, or they're going to be like, oh my god, you guys were just on the internet that much, you know. I think they might be worried for us in the future.
Maybe. What do you say? Oh yeah. I mean, wait. So how old was I when I got my first phone?
I
Because
think 10.
so was that when I started like? Because it was your old phone that you just. So yeah. So when I was like 10, my mom gave me. Did Gordy also get it at 10 or 8?
I don't
Because
know.
he's 2 years younger than me.
You guys just used our old phones for a while.
Yeah. So for a
Right.
while we just used like my mom and dad's old phones.
In the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, in the house. We didn't have any service, and I think when I was what was I 11 probably. Yeah, so I was like 11, and I got my first actual like phone, and I had service on it.
Oh.
Um,
I what games do you play on there?
what do I play? I don't. I mean, I mainly play on my computer, and I play Magic the Gathering online.
Ooh, fun. I
Yeah,
like that stuff.
yeah. I mean, my dad's a huge Magic the Gathering nerd, and I've been getting really into it.
We got to
So,
rebrand it. It's not nerds. It's cool, man. You know?
I mean, it's cool, but it's definitely nerdy.
What defines nerdy? Is it just like because I've discovered this. I never thought I was a nerd until I had kids. And I was like, oh wow, I'm a nerd. You know, I like weird stuff and weird information, and I'll build Lego sets and, like be on Wikipedia reading about some 14th century war for like an hour. That's kind of some nerdy stuff,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
think like I don't know, I mean, I think like being well educated is kind of being a nerd, but like magic isn't really well, actually no, magic is like a really tough it's really tough on the brain because you have to do a lot of thinking playing that game. Um, because you gotta be against your opponent, and you gotta figure out, okay, what would be the best optimal move this turn.
Right. So you have to have a lot of information.
Yeah.
Maybe for the future, like I think maybe really educated people need like a rebranding. Like we need someone like prime Arnold Schwarzenegger or something to be like, I'm a doctor, and start making it cool again to be like educated and buff.
Yeah.
What do you
I
think?
mean, Milo from the
Can it be done?
Descendants. Milo from the Descendants is a nerd, but he's also really cool.
Sure is. Last time I saw him, he had some cool studded water holder he was wearing. Did you see that thing?
Oh yeah, oh yes, it has like yeah, that thing's sick.
That was hilarious. Nah, he's the best.
I mean, yeah, he's an awesome guy. I had him on here. Like, I think was it my 12th birthday or
You were like 11.
was my 11th birthday? I
Maybe.
think it was like 2 days after my birthday. It was in person because he lives in Wilmington,
Yeah.
Delaware, and we live like 40 minutes south from there. So
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
yeah, he's such a nice guy. So for those who don't know, what do you do in the Gaslight Anthem and Town Liar?
I'm a full-on drummer.
Do you play like you don't play like any other instruments on the side, right?
I mean, for fun. I've played bass in a metal band when I was younger. Um, I can fiddle around the guitar, fiddle around the piano, and for about 5 minutes make it sound like I know what I'm doing. But no, I'm pretty like, um, I sort of believe in like the, you know, master of one kind of thing. Like I never really thought I was acclimated to just like pick up a bunch of different stuff and be proficient at it. Like getting good at drums took a lot of work for me, and I kind of um yeah, I like to just focus on the thing I do. So I'm a true like drummer besides for messing around. In the band I had with my kids, I wound up on guitar, but they're just too young to know that I suck.
Oh, you're in a band with your kids?
Well, in our basement, not a real one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do they play?
They just mess around. I think my son is looking like he's going to be a singer. He's got some moxie, you know. And my daughter's looking at drums, but they're both. I think it was fourth grade you start to get introduced to like school band and stuff like that. So I think both of them will probably wind up having a run with drums. I'm not sure how long it'll last. But I want
Nice.
them to have piano lessons. I'm gonna get, Brian Herring, who plays with the Gaslight Anthem, and Brian Fallon when he's solo is like this beautifully trained piano player who can, figure out anything in a flash. So I was thinking get that guy to come give lessons so we can have, if you can really get a sense of the piano, I think you can get a real idea of any noted instrument or a guitar, and anything like that will make a lot more sense if you understand the note patterns of a piano.
Yeah, I mean, I like started on piano. I couldn't do like the two hands at once thing, like the like one hand's on the lower side doing like the chords and
Yeah,
stuff, and then
that messed
the
you up.
melody. I can't do that. I can play like I know like a C major scale, and I know like basic stuff. I know what each note is. Like I know it's like which ones are the sharps, which ones are the flats, the name of every note. But like other than that, I can't really play that good. Like sometimes I'll just mess around on piano, but I don't really take it that seriously.
Sure. I mean, you're a singer, right?
Um, Singer and guitarist. Yeah, so in my
Nice.
band I play guitar and sing.
I would definitely like, it's good that you play guitar, but I have found as the years went on, if you're looking to get into like different types of like the music business, especially on the recording side or something, it is a good idea to at least get a basic sense of scale and notes somehow, because just to communicate with a musician, and if you're a drummer or something who gets asked to produce a record and you can't tell a guitar player to go from like a C to an E or something, like that's kind of a deficiency, right? Like, so I would, it's definitely good, I think, for people to at least get a sense of that if they're going to be, committed to like the music world.
Yep. I mean, I think that yeah, I think piano is really good to start with because everything's just like laid out in front of you. All the notes you can just see them, and sometimes like starter people that are starting piano, they have those little like stickers they put on, which are
Oh,
good for
right.
learning
Sure.
uh what each note is.
And I just learned the other day that pianos are considered half a percussion instrument because
Yeah,
the
because
little,
they hit the
yeah,
strings with their hammer.
let's go. I didn't know. I didn't know that I had an inclination for piano just because of being a drummer. I think that's cool.
Yep. So it's a stringed instrument and a percussion instrument.
Yeah.
What else would be a is there anything that you hit a string?
Besides for that,
Yeah.
that's
Trying to think.
both. Mm, maybe maybe like those guys on the subway who hit them with their bass pedals and stuff.
Wait, hit what with their bass pedals?
Like they'll hit
Oh,
like a stand-up bass with their kick pedals and stuff so they can
oh.
do it with no hands. But
For a
I don't know.
second, when you said bass pedal, I thought you meant like a
Oh,
pedal, like
like
an
a
electric pedal they
distortion
put
pedal or something.
for bass, and I was like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Throwing a distortion pedal. That's
Distortion pedal on a piano though. That'd sound cool.
it might. Yeah, I've never. I don't think I've ever thought of that. It sounds cool though.
We had an old band. Me and Alex from Gaslight Anthem had a band back in the day called The Killing Gift, and the guitar player of that band is also a really talented cellist. And on the record, we secured like an electric cello and ran it through, a very crazy pedal board with a lot of effects on it, and got some really really cool sounds out of it for sure.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it sounds cool. I have like I don't know, like 10 pedals or so, and I like just messing around with pedals. They're very fun.
Oh yeah.
Um
You get
Oh, yeah.
lost in sounds, you know?
Yeah, what do I have on my pedal board? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, so I have so the guitar head I play, it's just like a little it's literally like this big. It's great for touring. So there's a little speaker output, and there's also a direct out. So if like a club has a board, we can plug into there, which is
Cool.
good.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so on there's that. It's just like there's no tone on it. It's just like there's no like distortion or anything. It's just like the clean tone. So I have to have a distortion pedal. So I got this really cool distortion pedal. It's called a Hades something. I don't remember. But yeah, it's a great pedal. And then I also have a loop station, and you can actually load sound effects onto there.
Oh, fun.
So I can at band practice, I'll just like play sound effects. Like it's really funny.
What gets the biggest laugh?
Um, I mean, I don't really. I think everyone kind of thinks it's annoying at this point, but it's funny for me. I don't think like all the sounds are just like stupid meme.
What's the one you guys always play?
What the dog doing?
Yeah, so stupid.
What the dog doing? I
It's
think
it's like a sound of this guy going, "What the dog doing?" It's
oh,
ridiculous.
this sounds great.
Yeah, it is.
I think you should mix it into the songs.
Yeah, I
Put
think
some
I played it.
fun-
I think I pressed it at a show once intentionally.
I would love to hear it. I love stuff like that. Can't
Yeah,
take
it's
yourself
ridiculous.
too seriously, right?
And then I have a SpongeBob figurine on my pedal board,
Good.
and then I got my tuner. So pedals are fun.
I gotta say, SpongeBob. I never really gave, when I was a kid, I was too old for SpongeBob when it came out. I was probably like late late teens or 20s by
You're
the
never
time it
too
came
old for
out.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, and then I've been watching some recently because my kids are getting old enough, and I'm like, wow, show's pretty funny. Like I get it now. I get why it was so popular. It's a funny show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we were at Universal Studios in Orlando, and we went into this SpongeBob shop, and there was all this SpongeBob stuff, and I bought this figurine of SpongeBob. So it's really funny. He's just doing like a T pose like this,
Yeah.
and his feet are just straight down. So I just I put Velcro on the back because my pedal board has Velcro on it, so the pedals will stay on.
Sure. So you put
So I
them
put
on.
Velcro on the back of SpongeBob, and then just connected him to the pedal.
I love it.
What the dog doing?
I
My
just watched
dog's-
the. What's your dog doing over there?
I don't. He's like so he does this thing where like he lays on his back, and he goes like it's not like a seizure or anything. He just like is goofy.
I
He's-
wonder, maybe dogs are seeing ghosts, dogs and cats. Sometimes
Maybe.
they're just seeing stuff we're not seeing, right?
I think he's scratching his back.
I'm pretty sure he's scratching his back, but he goes like
Who knows?
he
Maybe
makes
it's
all
some
these goofy sounds.
maybe it's some dog from the 1800s messing with him right now, and he's
Maybe.
having fun. They're playing right now.
Yeah, maybe.
Where do you live? Do you live in an old house?
Well, not that old.
It's
like,
not old. It's 97.
Oh, it's 97? I thought it was
97.
like 70s.
No, 97.
Oh,
So you might be ghost free. Who knows?
probably.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Your dad's aunt died here.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, now he does.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good
I
job,
mean,
Mom. There you go.
She had cancer and she passed away here. Yep, upstairs in Grandma Julie's living room.
All right. Just finding that out, huh, Gabe?
I never knew that.
Yep.
Oh, we're definitely haunted. When was that?
I don't know, probably like 2001 or something.
Was she a
Okay.
nice lady, though?
I never met her. It was before my
Did I
time.
meet her?
This was my husband's parents' house.
Oh wait, no,
first.
she died in 2001.
Yeah, so we moved. They sold us the house in 2008, so they lived in it for 97.
Listen, Gabe, it's your family member.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna mess with you. They're probably looking out for you. Like
I mean, well,
It's a guardian
if
angel.
if I died, well, I know I'm gonna die, but if I died and became a ghost, I would totally mess with my grandkids.
you'd have to, right?
Mhm.
Oh, you mean like you'd play pranks on him and stuff?
Yeah, just like I didn't put that there.
Yeah. Be like, let's see how this kid holds up to it.
Yeah, it'd be funny.
The one thing I wonder though is if like I became a ghost and I was sitting in his house for so long, I'd be like, I might not want to hang out there, you know?
Well, you could just like
Like,
ghosts could fly. I think
Yeah, can they leave and come back?
couldn't they just like
yeah,
leave? Couldn't they just explore the world? That'd be kind of fun.
I think they could. I get the impression if you are a ghost, you're not committed to the same time structure that we are. Like if they want to go to China, I don't think they have to like fly to China. I think
Probably.
they just go.
Yeah.
You
Also,
know,
wouldn't they like phase through the plane once it starts going?
I think
Fall through.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think they could hold on to a wing no, I mean they'd have to fly themselves. But but
Yeah, that's
imagine.
what I mean. I'm
Yeah.
saying like they would once the plane starts flying, they would just have to keep up with it. Like
Yeah, too fast. Too fast. I wonder if pilots see anything funky up there. But I think about
wonder.
that a lot, you know, same as where you guys live. I'm here in New Jersey, and you know, we're only a couple hundred years removed from essentially this entire place being, you know, entirely Native American. So
Mhm.
I never know, like anytime you're around, like if you live anywhere on the East Coast, you're probably walking over somebody's stuff from some point a long time ago. So I just
Yeah.
think it's around, it's all good, you know, like I don't think anyone's out to hurt anyone. There's all good vibes around if you decide to see that, you know?
I mean, wait, should we not say the name of our road? Because it has
No,
to.
you can.
Okay, like the road next to our house. Wait, could someone find where we live from it?
They can find it if they want to go.
Okay. The road like next to our house is called Chop Tank Road, which is like a Native American tribe.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Mm.
I just bought a metal detector. I thought
Oh,
it would be
wow.
fun to just go out with the kids because there was a lot of like Revolutionary War battles and things like that right by my house. I was just at a place celebrating George Washington's birthday. Some old
Maybe you
lady.
could find. Oh, sorry. Maybe you could find like an old like 200-year old like bullet or something. Wait, when were guns
Yeah.
invented?
There were guns for the revolution.
Yeah, they had them in there. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you could
Yeah.
find like, an old bullet.
Yeah. Bullets or buttons or even like, you know, maybe a Native American, like arrowhead or something like that.
Yeah, wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it
Um,
could be fun. I'm looking. Or find some loose change at the beach. I might be like 10 years too late for that. I'm assuming not a lot of people carry around pockets of change anymore.
Probably not.
No.
Wait, we got a metal detector. So there was like this in the drummer of my band's neighborhood. There was like this there was like a neighborhood yard sale. So we went there and someone had a metal detector and I don't know. I don't think we should have bought it. It was like $5 though, right?
Yeah,
It probably means it doesn't work. Yeah.
I mean, we've never used it.
yeah, good waste of money.
It's
I
only
know.
$5. I might
Yeah,
need it at some
a
point.
$5 metal detector. That's a hard thing to pass up on when you see it at a garage sale. It's
Maybe
easy
we
to
should go to the
convince
beach soon.
yourself. Easy to convince yourself that you'll use that for sure. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it out, you know?
Yeah, I'll use it. It's been
I
like what, like a year?
I know go through that a lot. I think what is the rule? If you haven't touched or thought about something for a year, you should get rid of it. That's what I think that's the rules of feng shui.
Maybe. Maybe we should just try it once.
Yeah, try it once and then decide.
Yeah, give it a test run.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. I was gonna say something, but I forgot. I do that a lot. Okay.
Happens. Me too.
So how old were you when you first started playing drums? And do you remember what your first kit was?
Yeah, totally. Um, well, I joined, you know, in fourth grade, I believe. There was like the two cool girls in our grade joined school band. So then like every boy in the grade wanted to join school band. And I remember them asking me like, what instrument do you want to play? And I just thought of like drums. So I was like, cool, let me do it. and I did the little test run to do it, and I guess I was good enough to like get in. And I did like, I think at the time it was one of those things where I was surprised by how like I wasn't that good at sports. That stuff didn't come easy to me.
Look, what are you eating? All
um
right.
no, it's good, it's good. So I wasn't that good at sports. That didn't come too easy to me. And uh so I think I was like pleasantly surprised that I was like kind of good at it for no reason, and it wasn't that much work. um and then I played for a little bit, and my mom had a second job as a manicurist. So she was a legal secretary during the day, but then she had started painting nails at night for some extra money. And I had already been playing, the drums in school. And one night, my mom went to visit one of the ladies that she was working with in a house in Somerville. And I walk in the living room, and there was just this giant drum set up. I'm talking like
Oh,
80s style with like tons of drums, like maybe more than a 10-piece kit, maybe like.
that's
Um,
ridiculous.
and it turned out this woman's boyfriend was a guy named Tommy, who was like a local drummer, but like rock dude, not really like a trained guy. And I think I bounced around on the kit, and then I don't even remember how long or how many times, but a handful of times I got taken back to their house, and like my mom would sit in the kitchen and drink tea and like smoke cigarettes with her colleague, and me and Tommy would like play some records. He would play along on drums and then kind of try to teach me some of the parts. So that's how I learned. And then shortly after I convinced my parents. I don't remember. I had to be maybe like 11 or something like that, and convinced them to get me a kit. It was a company called Century, who I don't even think makes drums. I've looked them up recently. I think they make mostly stuff for like brass instruments and horns. I don't even know why they were making drums.
Oh,
Um, and I found this cheap, package kit at Rondo Music on Route 22 in Scotch Plains or up that way, Plainfield maybe. And yeah, got it for a couple $100. It was like um it was a slick black, a satin black, really junky stuff. It didn't come with a stool, so I was using like all the way, even through the first band I was in, I was using um a kitchen chair from my guitar player's dining room set to play shows because I didn't have a stool. So I was just using this chair for
that's
ages.
sick.
Um, yeah, and that's how I got into it. And I had started playing. I was playing a lot, and I was kind of learning the same way that guy Tommy was teaching me. I was listening to, in those days, like kind of late '80s rock. I was into Skid Row and um, Motley Crue and Poison, and all like the cheesy bands from then. And I would just listen to their tapes and play along on drums. And then I remember one summer I was actually like playing a lot of sports. I wasn't playing that many drums, and shortly after, I think I was just finishing up 7th grade, and an older kid in 8th grade saw my Nirvana t-shirt and was like, "Oh, you like Nirvana? I heard you play drums." And they had some little band going, and they asked me if I wanted to try out, and I tried out with "Come As You Are" by Nirvana. Um, and that was how I got into my first band when I was like just getting into 8th grade, I guess. And I've pretty much been in a band, playing drums in a band ever since.
Nice. Um, so did that band like play shows?
Yeah, yeah. It was called Dilemma. At times it was called X Dilemma X because we had a singer who was dabbling in straight edge. Um,
Nice.
and yeah, we played a bunch of shows. We were part of this like little micro scene going on at the time. There was a band called One Nature from the Bridgewater area who was starting to do pretty well. There was a band called Strength 691 from the Woodbridge area. And these were like, you know, to me, when I was in 8th grade, these bands were Metallica. Like they were huge, you know, just because they were older guys and played out of state shows and went on tours and stuff like that. You know, I thought they were like, I thought they were like living the life. I had, you know, no idea what this thing was yet. And yeah, we were kind of part of that little scene. And that's actually how I started doing shows. Like um I started putting together the shows for that band Dilemma, and that's kind of how I became like a promoter early on when I was young.
Nice. I want to start booking shows, kind of.
Sick.
Yeah, because yeah, so World of Chaos, my band, we played Massachusetts, and my friend who was 15, he booked the show. It was that.
Oh, you got to have them down.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Pepperell, Massachusetts VFW. There's like what 1,000 people in that town, I think.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, there it was a good uh turnout. There were like I don't know, like 70 kids there.
it's awesome.
It was really good. It was just yeah, it was in a VFW in the middle of nowhere, Massachusetts, but it was sick.
Yeah, and it's pretty cheap. I mean, when I was not far off from your age, I would like just go into the phone book and call like the local Elks lodges and VFWs. Most of them are just like, nah, like we don't do stuff like that, you know, but some of them do. And it's cheap. They're usually like, you know, a few $100s to rent out, and all you need is a PA. One band brings amps and drums, everybody can use them, and all of a sudden, like, boom, you have a show. Um,
Yep.
yeah, and it's like it's a really, especially if you're touring already and you can, you know, that's how, you know, it was really useful. I spent a lot of years doing exactly what you're doing now, which is going up to Massachusetts, playing a show. That band needs a show in New Jersey. I'll put one on for them. You keep, you know, in touch through the years, and this is how you build that base of connections, you know, to do something. And, you know, I had a lot of bands that kind of tried and failed for a lot of years. But one of the best things that came out of that was by the time Gaslight started and musically kind of came on to something special, those years and years of connections like really came in handy, you know, because now I have this demo, but I have people all over America who are like waiting to do me a favor, you know? And it really it's a really cool way to build a network, and it's also super fucking punk rock. It's not Live Nation, you know, no managers, no booking agents are getting paid. Like it's all people paying at the door and you're paying bands directly, and there's no middleman, there's nobody like getting in the way of that stuff. I mean, I'm so far into this side of the business now that it's like hard to remember stuff like that. I'm glad I have Town Liar to kind of keep me, you know, keep me in that scene pretty firmly. But I think it's like the most beautiful thing in the world, and especially in these days of like political turmoil and people feeling like they don't know what to do with themselves, like build your fucking scene, you know, build a community, like build a network of bands and people who like think like you, and or not necessarily think like you, but have an open mind, you know. And I think that's like one of the most important things people can keep doing is like feeding your scenes and feeding your communities, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so me and the basic World of Chaos, we were just like, um, okay, so we all go to this like water park called Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh yeah,
Me and a lot of my friends every year.
it's fun.
And so we were in like there's like a hotel that you stay in. We were there. We were just looking up on Google Maps. We were just looking up VFW, American Legion Hall, and just everywhere across like I don't know, like, within like 30 minutes from us, we were just like, "Hello, do you guys do shows?"
That's awesome.
Um,
Did anyone say they would do it?
no one really. One of them said yes, but it's like it was like $900 for 4 hours, which is ridiculous.
It's a little much. It's a little much.
What about
Yeah.
the
You'll find the
$75?
right one. Like I had done it at a bunch of different ones, and part of the reason there was a bunch of different ones was like I convinced the firehouse by the apartment I lived in with my mom. I convinced this firehouse to do my first show, and I brought in like Strength 691 and Bound, and bands that were doing pretty well, and hardcore kids and stuff. So it was the first and the last show at this firehouse. They they saw what was going on there, and they're like, all right, we're good, we don't want a bunch of crazy kids.
That happens a
But then,
lot.
like, the third place I found, it was called the Manville Elks Lodge, in kind of like a working class, like white town in central Jersey. You wouldn't expect being friendly to this stuff, but two of the Elks were in a punk band called Detention back in the early 1980s, and they thought it was cool. And it was like the one Elks Lodge in all of New Jersey that had a couple old punk rockers in it and was down for the thing.
Wow.
So just keep plugging away. Like, you'll find your thing for sure. Just be
I mean,
cool to people, be honest, like, and everything like that works out.
there was a place it was in Maryland, but it was really like 20 minutes away. So it was like an event venue. It was like you can do events there.
Oh yeah.
I think they do like weddings and stuff, but um on weekends it was really expensive, but on weekdays it was $95 an hour.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
3 hour minimum. So we might try to do that.
That'd be awesome. I
Yeah.
love it, and I love seeing people your age getting into stuff like that. It's heartening for an old guy like me. Even
It's
though
very
my kids tell me I'm old all the time, but my wife's like, "You're not old." I'm not sure.
Wait, how old are you?
44.
So you're 46, right, Mom?
Yep.
Okay, so
So, so I'm younger than your mom.
yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
Mhm. Um, but yeah, Delaware Hardcore Shows is a group in Delaware. I mean, they wouldn't be called Delaware Hardcore Shows unless they were in like Delaware, Ohio. Um, yeah, they're a group who's doing really good like hardcore shows,
Awesome.
and the turnout has been for all their shows. It's great. I mean, there's a lot of young people that go, so it's like yeah, I've seen a lot of like 20-year-olds and even younger than that.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, they book like a lot of good shows. They're sick. And it's like VFWs mainly.
that's great. I love to hear it's going on.
Yeah, it's a sick place. Um, yeah. So what year did the Gaslight Anthem start?
I got introduced to Brian in like maybe, late 2005-ish or early 2006. He was doing a band called This Charming Man. I had been doing this band called The Killing Gift, and then with Alex from who's currently in Gaslight. Anyway, that's like all boring stuff. So yeah, I tried out with, Brian had gone on some tour that didn't work out, and basically like was trying to replace his whole band. And he had like he had a little record deal, and um I went and tried out with those guys, and somewhere in like 2006, like proper joined. We started working on some stuff, and then by 2007 is when we had like Alex Rosamilia in tow, and made the actual Gaslight demo and stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, you have a podcast, right?
I do. It's called
Okay.
Going Off Track. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, you want to tell us about podcast?
Oh, sure. It's not too unlike this. I'm just dumb and I don't do video. So I just have long conversations with, musicians or, uh, anybody creative. I like talking to authors, just kind of people who are thinkers a little bit. It's not as much like, I like getting into the meat of people and, you know, finding out what's actually going on. I like hearing ghost stories. I ask everybody about a nice ghost story. Yeah, so I don't know. Just try to dig in and see why people are the way they are. And that's what the podcast is all about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, I think you guys. I saw you guys got to play a huge outdoor hockey game last year, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How was that? It looked really fun.
That was honestly, it was really an insane experience because I grew up going to New York Giants games. My father had a family friend who had season tickets to the Giants, and we used to go to 2 games a year, normally freezing my ass off like 10 rows from the top of the stadium in January, um, watching the Giants. My dad's cheap, so I'd get like one hot chocolate for the whole game. Um, so I just have this like very, you know, visceral memory of when I was a kid and being freezing at that stadium. So when we got asked to do that, I didn't know like exactly what it was going to look like. And they actually set up, the hockey arena on the field of the football stadium and then had us playing like right on the field of the football stadium, looking up at the crowd and stuff. So to imagine myself as like a little kid and now I'm down here, it was just a very like surreal experience in that way. It was
That's awesome.
it was cold. Because it was like 10 degrees on the field. Um, and the deal was like we had to be on stage. So when the Devils score a goal, they play a snippet from our song How, from the Gaslight song How, like when they score a goal at games. So the whole idea was we would be there, and when the Devils would score a goal, we'd actually play the song live. Um, but that meant we had to be like on the field, ready to go at all times. And the second they scored a goal and the thing went on, there was like a producer in our ears, like, get to the gear, go, go, go. And then like we'd run to our stuff and it'd be like, all right, 3, 2, 1. So we had to just be like on call the whole game, ready to go. I had like, I was wearing gloves with the little like heater things in it, and I would just take them off like right before we had to play. But then during intermission, they had us play 3 songs that I think were like they were being aired online or something, and then the crowd got to watch it. And when I played 3 songs in a row without gloves, by like the third song, my thumbs, like I couldn't really feel like the ends of my thumbs anymore. And by the end of the third song, like that stick was like slipping out of my hand because I like could barely feel my hands.
That's
So
nuts.
it was like crazy, a crazy situation. But yeah, and we were like our backstage was uh one of the referees' rooms where like where the refs would chill out during a football game, weird stuff like that. So it was a surreal experience to just be like, on the field of the stadium doing something like that. Cool experience. I
Definitely.
was very anxious though. I got to be honest. I had so much anxiety going into it just because I didn't know what I was dealing with. I'm like, what is all this? This is crazy.
Yeah. Um. What'd you say?
Dad was there.
No.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I bet. Well, yeah. My dad was there, but I bet that didn't. I'd assume the guitars would have kept going out of tune, right? Because it's so cold.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know what those boys were up to. Something. I know Brian was like chatting with someone during one of the breaks, and he scored a goal, and he got to that mic by like the skin of his teeth, like started singing just in time.
Wow. Um. Pete from Sick of It All told me they played like on top of a mountain with the Beastie Boys, so that must have
Really?
been just as
Whoa,
cold.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sick of It
Did he
All's
say?
got too
Did he
many
say where it
stories.
was? Like
No, he didn't.
maybe like Switzerland or something.
Who knows?
That's
Probably
awesome.
the U.S. It's probably the
You
U.S.
are there like that cold of
It's
areas?
like a ski place.
Oh, well, I guess Salt Lake City might be
Yeah.
like that
Oh
cold.
yeah, definitely. I mean, like one of the craziest places to go in America, like touring, is that stretch of Route 10 in Wyoming, because you're on this like weird black highway, but you're 9,000 feet above sea level. So at any
Oh,
point, like ice just hits and like, yeah, there's some crazy weather out west. Us East Coasters don't know about that stuff.
yep. I mean, so my band, we've only done like weekends, but we're going on a 6-day tour next month. So it's gonna be
Nice. Where you heading?
um Virginia first day, so outside of DC, then outside of Charlotte, then Charleston, South Carolina. Okay.
Sweet.
Then Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Chesapeake, Virginia, then Salisbury, Maryland.
Awesome. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
Are you
Uh,
touring with, are you going with anybody or are you guys doing it yourself?
no, just I mean we were trying to get a band to come with us, but we couldn't really find anyone. So but yeah, it's just during our spring break because well, me and the bassist are homeschooled. The other guitarist and drummer are not, so we can only like tour during weekdays when they're off.
Sure.
So it's their spring break.
You excited?
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you. I feel like that the youthful energy of going on my first tour is when I hear that. And I remember how special it is and how like, you know, like I could tell you like, you know, on the first tours, I could be like, yeah, it was this venue in this city, you know, and this happened and this. And then you could be like, what happened when Gaslight played there in like 2012? And I'd be like, no fucking clue, man. You know, so it's really it's awesome. I'm almost like jealous that you get to live it the first time again. It's cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. My mom's driving us. I'm not sure how excited she's gonna be. Because she's gonna be well, our bassist is 15 right now. It's literally 2 days after his birthday. It starts, so he'll be 16.
Yeah,
So she's gonna be driving a 13-year-old, me, a 14-year-old, and a 15-year-old, and a 16-year-old around. So
I think she'll be good.
survive.
You helped create this monster, it seems. So now you're responsible to drive it around.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I used to have, when I first started playing my shows in Dilemma, I used to have to like my mom had just this crappy old Ford Tempo, and I figured out how to get a drum set and myself inside of that car, and I dragged my mom to some ridiculous places like in the early 90s that I'm sure was not thrilled to go, but gotta do the thing, right?
Yep. This was your choice.
Yeah,
You
you're right.
birthed me.
Yep.
I mean, thank
That's
you
it.
for
I got you
but-
into hardcore and
Yeah. So.
That's it. That's it. You sparked the itch, you know?
Yep. But yeah, that's gonna be super fun. Also speaking of touring, where's your favorite place you've ever toured?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think, you know, as I have been to like a lot of these places consistently now, I think of places like I'd want to go back and I'd want to actually like vacation, and places like I've been but I want to see more of, you know? And I think I'm always desperate to get to the West Coast. I love California. I love Northern California. Anytime I play there, anytime I'm visiting there, I kind of feel this like kindred thing, like maybe my past soul lived there or I was meant to live there or something. Um, and Vancouver, like in British Columbia, that part of like southwestern Canada, I really like too. Um, I'd really love. I've always been taken by like Spain. Anytime we've played in Spain, and gotten to spend some time there, I really love the country and look forward to going there. Anytime I'm in the like that southern part of Europe, I quite like it too. Uh, I Japan was like such an exceptional experience. We went there twice, and the second time we went, we were there during the Fukushima earthquake.
Wow.
So like that's obviously like an incredibly memorable experience, not exactly for all the right reasons, but it might be the most like flashbulb memory of a tour I have, you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was. Um
How many continents have you guys played?
Continents, I mean 3, I guess. We have never been to South America, and I hope,
Wow.
yeah, it's been a weird blind spot on our traveling up until now, and something we're looking forward to for sure. And then Europe and Asia, because of Japan. Is
Never.
Australia its own? What's Australia? Is that Asia?
Australia's in Oceania.
Oh, so 4. That's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's this band called Stick to Your Guns. They're like a hardcore band.
Yeah.
They've played 6 continents. They've played every
Awesome.
continent but Antarctica.
Are there shows in Antarctica? Can
I
that
don't
be
think.
fixed?
I mean,
Didn't Metallica-
I know Metallica played Antarctica, but
Of
they're
course they
Metallica, they
did.
can do anything.
Just to say that we're the ones who did it.
Well, they did it because it was some like fundraiser thing, I think. So you have to donate to this like raffle, and it went to like some cause.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
then you could win a trip to go to Antarctica and see Metallica.
Wow. I guess you could go play one of those like research station pods
Yeah, it was
for the
it was in like
scientists or
it was
something.
in like one of those big bubbles.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
since they like it everyone like they couldn't, I don't think it could be too loud. So everyone just had headphones on and they were just in the bubble with them.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was like
Metallica's like they're one of those exceptional bands where I remember we were playing a festival called Nova Rock in Austria, probably in like the early 2010s, and it was more of a metal festival, and we were not exactly a band who totally fit in. And at some of these festivals, there's a little bit of a school dance thing going on, where some bands think they're real cool and other ones think they're cool, and they don't necessarily always talk to each other. Sometimes it's weird. And it was one of those. And all of a sudden, everybody hears like really loud guitars and drums, but not from one of the stages. And it's like everyone in the backstage is perked up. And then we all kind of start funneling towards the middle. And it turns out Metallica like plays a show before they play a show. So that backstage, they have a full setup, guitars, drums, amps, the whole deal. And they just fucking shred for like a half an hour before they even walk on stage. So all these like cool guys from all these other bands are all of a sudden like 14 years old, sitting in the middle of this hallway. We're all looking at each other like, oh, it's Metallica. They're playing right there. It's so cool. So they're just one of those bands that like kind of rises above the herd. They're like demigod like at this point.
Last night I had a dream where I think it was in like for some reason it was just like Metallica just played like a free local show in like 30 minutes. I didn't even say this yet. It was like 30 minutes away from us.
Wow.
And I caught 2 guitar picks.
Kurt or James, or Kirk or James.
I don't know.
Maybe one of each.
I just saw a guitar pick fly on the ground.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it's crazy.
There was a kid next to me, and I gave him one of them because I felt bad taking both of them.
Oh, that's good of you.
Well, it's not real, so I'd probably take
still
it.
listen. In your dream, that's who you really are. In your dream, that's your subconscious. Your subconscious is generous. Good for you.
I mean, the
Proud
thing
of
is,
you.
so it landed like right next to him, and I just like snatched it, and I kind of felt bad, so
Okay.
I let him take one of them, and yeah.
You've been
I
known
love-
to give that list to kids.
I love how vivid. I miss having such vivid dreams.
Do you remember your dreams, Mom?
Sometimes, not much.
I remember most of mine, but I only remember them for like a day, then I completely forget.
Some people, especially if you're writing songs, some people really dig keeping like a dream journal where you like the second you wake up, you write it down. Sometimes it just is total nonsense, but sometimes like you go back for writing a song or something, you're like, whoa, what did I see? That's awesome.
I had a dream journal in my notes, like on my phone. And one of them, I remember, so there's this kid I know, he's really good at guitar, Jake from Baltimore. And I went to their house, like the family's house, and for some reason, like they had like this area downstairs I never knew about, and I had to like climb down this ladder for like 20, 30 feet down, and there was a bunch of like alcohol on like shelves for some reason while I was
Ah,
going down.
prohibition or something.
Yeah, but it was like super rare alcohol, I guess. So they were like saving it to sell it, I guess. And then we went down there, and there was this like, I think there was this like thing. It was like a big hammer that spun like a foam, like a rubber, like inflatable hammer that spun in a circle, and you got hit by it. And then there were these chickens. We have chickens at our house, and I went outside. So for some reason, their house was connected to our house, even though they live an hour away.
Sure.
So I went outside of our house, and one of our chickens was having babies, but not like that. It's like the babies were hatching. That's what I mean, like out of
I got
eggs.
you. I got you.
And then instead of hatching out of eggs, they were hatching out of the ground. They were just like coming up from the ground.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really, really.
Maybe this was all a very detailed version of the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because now
Maybe.
you got chickens coming straight out of the ground. I think you were solving the creationism problem in your dream.
So wait, with that question, is it a chicken egg or an egg?
They're eggs. It has to be.
Well, I
eggs.
think that's the question. Basically, I think it's a larger question to believe. If you believe that God created all this in one shot, then chickens would have just existed and started laying eggs. If you believe in evolution, you probably got to believe that there was a bunch of eggs over a long period of times that created a chicken.
Yeah, I mean like, but
It's like a
there's been like if like dinosaurs and stuff are real, some of them are like some
totally
like
real.
prehistoric birds are
Yeah.
hatched out of eggs. So if it's chicken eggs, I'm not sure, but if it's just all
Mm,
eggs, then it's the egg, I
makes
think.
sense to you. Yeah, why not?
And
What
also
do you think's the first thing that ever hatched out of an egg?
I
What did
have
that look
no
like?
idea. I know did snakes come before chickens? I know they come out of eggs.
Dinosaurs.
I think snakes came before chickens. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah,
I
dinosaurs.
think I think the running theory is that all of our life came out of the sea.
Yeah, probably.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
I've heard a lot about that, and that does make sense.
I
So
mean, you've taken science classes way
have I?
more recently than I have, I'm sure.
No.
I don't think I've ever taken a science class.
Oh, no, not it.
Not at
All right.
Antonio Academy.
It's fine. I think I know science.
He's never taken a class. You just learn stuff.
Yeah, I kind of just
I
like
got you.
well, we
Yeah,
listen.
right.
Never like
We
made him
listen
learn
like
stuff.
in the car. We listen to um like audiobooks, kind of that like are educational and
Yeah,
Sure.
we're listening to American History for Dummies right now.
yeah.
Ooh, I
Spotify.
love him. I live now. I didn't realize I was doing it, but I live really close to kind of the birthplace of the Revolutionary War now. And I'm like just awash in Revolutionary War history. And I feel like it's connected me more with like the history of the country because you realize like just wasn't that long ago. Like my father is going to be 80 years old this year. And like to think that my dad's been alive for 35% of the country,
Wow.
which is weird to think about, you
It-
know? If it's it's going to be 250 years old in 2026. So my dad's 80, which means like, 80, 160, 240. Like, all
Like
right, I'm sorry, not 35, like 31 or 32% of the country. He's been
Wow. Yeah.
alive, which I'm
That's
like,
nuts. So,
wow, we're so young, My sister's going to be 50 soon, and she will have experienced 20% of the history of this country.
That's
And
crazy.
she's just my older sister. She doesn't feel that old. So it's kind of wacky when you put it in that perspective.
Definitely.
We're still figuring it out in this place, I guess.
Who's the oldest person that we know that's still alive?
my grandma died last year and she was 99.
Ooh, good run.
Yeah, so very close to 100.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Awesome.
how far was she from her birthday? Like
Less than a year. but close to a year. She's barely 99.
I mean, it'd be crazy if she died a year from your birthday, like exactly, like
Yeah, it was
she would
like
have to die
maybe
on her birthday.
3/4 of a year to go.
I just read that the oldest living person right now is Ina Canbaro Lucas of Brazil, born in 1908. She's 116 years old.
That's crazy. How? Wait. Yeah. Okay.
That's good. That's a good run. Imagine 19, like, you've seen literally like the advent of cars, World War I, World War II, the Great Depression. Oh my God. Like, you just seen, that's an insane amount of stuff to see. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's nuts. Well, hopefully we get there, huh, Gabe?
Yep.
All right. Well, I gotta start heading out of here. I've been
well, I
been
got
an hour
yeah.
or so.
We got 2 questions. Well,
One really.
Yeah, pretty much 1 question.
Cool.
If you could tell your 13-year-old self anything at all, what would you tell him?
Wow. I take that question really seriously, honestly. It's important. I mean, I think I would tell him going into this with music and stuff like that to try to like I think I just being a driven person in general, and also at the time I really got into music, in hindsight, was a bit of a like desperate time in my life where I was like kind of trying to hang on to things that would, you know, help me make a life for myself because it wasn't looking so good. But I put so much pressure on like each show, each recording, each practice, desired this like level of perfection that was maybe not possible. And even though I think it was good as like a standard of quality and keeping things good over the year and keeping myself driven, I wish it was met with more of a joy for the moment. So instead of looking forward so much and thinking about what the thing I was doing, how that was going to contribute to my ultimate goal, which is kind of how I looked at everything. I wish I was just like in those moments more, being like, here I am. I'm a 15-year-old kid. I'm playing a show. Here's all my friends. This is great. You know, and not worrying so much about shit. We messed up that 3rd song, and, you know, then, oh, we got to practice, and then we got to do this. Cause then, you know, you're still trying to do something great, but you still got to like enjoy your life at the same time. So I think that's something I might try to talk to my 13-year-old self about, even though I'm fairly convinced my 13-year-old self would not fucking listen to me.
Anything to add before we wrap it up? I gotta do that first.
No, just keep doing what you're doing. I think this is cool. I'm glad you're doing a band and creating scenes and creating a pod and being a an additive force into the world right now rather than a detractor. So
Thank
keep
you.
doing what you're doing, man. And anything you need from me, let me know.
I will. And okay, everyone check out Going Off Track on all streaming platforms.
Awesome. Appreciate that, bud.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, sorry, what?
So I'll see you out there in the world, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks to Betty for joining me today. Thanks to all you for watching and listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Spotify and other streaming platforms. Until next week, bye.
Peace out.